Welcome back to Faster and Louder, guys. Today is hopefully the last major day of removing parts from my Javelin AMX. If you've been following along, I just did a video on basically the entire project. I went through the whole process of what's been done, what still needs to be done, and kind of just where I'm at on the whole thing. I would say it's about halfway done, which may or may not be true. But the last part that actually needs to be done is getting rid of this old gas tank. And honestly, I didn't even bother to look at the inside of the gas tank or anything like that because it hasn't been on the road since 1980. It's 2022 in case you didn't know. And that's a long time. So I'm just not even gonna bother with this gas tank. If I take it off and it's a miracle that it's in good shape, then I'll just hang on to it or I'll sell it, you know? But I bought a brand new gas tank replacement, so that's what's gonna go in it, regardless. But I also had to take some lines off the bottom of the car. There's some brake lines that I haven't gotten just yet. You can see the brake line, one of the brake lines right here, that's kind of just dangling. And there's still, I think there might be some transmission. Nah, I don't think there's any transmission cooling lines, but there might be some fuel lines. I know there's gonna be some fuel lines underneath the car that I need to also pop loose. And then there's just some random pieces of exhaust that I haven't bothered to get out just yet, so I'll probably just do that too. I wanna get this thing to a point where it's totally disassembled. I mean, there could be more stuff that has to be done. I don't even know what kind of shape things are in behind the dashboard. That's pretty much one of the last variables on this project. And I'm sure stuff will have to be done, but I digress. All the major things will be taken care of after this gas tank. I have never taken a gas tank out, let alone by myself. I don't have a jack here right now. I don't have any jack stands here right now. So it could be interesting. The first thing that I did was kind of just get under here and try to become familiarized with where everything is going. I kind of traced back a few things that are on the passenger side here that run from the front and go all the way back. And I have like emergency brake stuff here. I believe that it goes to both wheels. I wasn't super sure on that, but it appears to be doing that. And then there's like a couple fuel lines that I gotta figure out. There's this this thing right here. I don't even know if this is the charcoal canister maybe. I'm not, like I said, I'm not super familiar with this type of work. I haven't really had too much hands-on time with this, but it's really just kind of documenting where everything's at. Like I even, like on my phone, I separately did all this stuff. Like I took a video of this and kind of tried to figure it out and followed back lines everywhere because there's nothing more aggravating than like getting ready to put everything back in and then you have no idea where everything goes because sometimes the service manual is not super helpful. I don't know how it is for other car makes. I have a technical service manual and a lot of times they're just like, okay, first step in removing gas tank, remove gas tank. And you're like, dope, thanks. So I try to document stuff like this as much as I can so I don't get more confused and angry later on. Wow, this sucks. I can't get a socket or a wrench around this so I can do like 1/16 of a turn every time. That's what's up. Yep, so this one right here, the way the clip is designed, you can't get a socket in there and you can't get the closed end of a wrench around it, so you have to like grab it and do like 1/8 of a turn one little bit at a time. This is why this kind of stuff takes forever. Just a little happy surprises like this, you know? One thing I've been meaning to do for a long time is take note of the shock placement, I guess, for the rear axle. And I'm just now noticing that it's staggered. The other one's on the front side of the axle, this one's on the rear side. Now I know what kind of Caltrax I need to get and all that stuff. I was gonna do the non-staggered because I didn't understand why there would be a difference, but I think that I read somewhere that AMX Javelins, or at least the ones with the Go package, have the staggered shocks in the back. So I'm not sure if that's entirely true because, you know, information over 50 years or so tends to get a little weird. So another thing that I was thinking about as I was under here wrestling with getting this line to the canister removed was I could easily just cut all this stuff and make my life a lot easier. But what I'm trying to do here is actually retain as much of this as possible. Not to reuse it, because that would be stupid, but once I take it off, I can compare it to the new parts that I have and kind of make my life easier when it comes to determining what's replacing what. You know, because all the stuff that I got is already pre-bent, so I need to know what's what, and this would be one easy way to do that. So that's going up and across and attaching on the other side. So that's coming up here. Oh man, I don't know if it's bolted up there somewhere. I hope not. Something right here. Jeez. So now I need to pop that off the top. Have a little nipple off the tank here. Alright, I think that was the last one. Okay, so I think it's loose. I can just drag it through this. Try to. Good Lord. Yep, I'm gonna pull from the other side. Gimme. There you go. Okay, so that might be important to know. For that part, it actually goes through here. I didn't even realize that. I'll make sure I get stuck on that for 6 to 8 hours when it comes time to reassemble. Oh man, that's not easy. Okay, so that's loose. Oh, now I gotta get. Okay, I just had to fit through that. I've had to do that about 20 or 90 times. What are you stuck on? All right, so that is from the very front all the way to the back. So the whole reason I wanted to pull it out in one piece like that is so I can compare it to what I actually have already. And I think some of this stuff, it's pre-bent, but it's also kind of like looped around because they wanted to be able to fit it into a box. I'm pretty sure I have everything that I need here, but I'm not really gonna know until it comes time to put all that back in. Those lines are out. I'm not gonna mess with the emergency brake stuff unless I need to. I have the fuel line on the other side, so I'm gonna pull that out, and then that'll be it, and I can start getting ready to drop this little biatch. So I realized that the passenger side, I don't remember what I even said like 15 minutes ago about it, but that line that comes back here on the passenger side is obviously the brake line coming from the proportioning valve, and then it comes right here into the bottom of this. So I need like a line wrench or something. Probably just gonna end up breaking it. I don't have any line wrenches, I don't think, so I'm gonna try to get it off as best I can. And then there's just that hose that runs from there to here where it kind of like tees off. About ready to take this brake line out of here. Let's just pull this on out. Nice. All the lines going from the front all the way to the back are out. I took apart the connectors down here, so everything should be good there. The only other thing I really need to figure out is this, and I don't think that this even, I think it kind of just sits in place. It like slides into this. So I think when it comes time to putting it in, it has to like come up and then back in order to get lined up here. Oh God, you can just smell that nasty old gas. I took those lines out and like for a second I was like, God, what smells like old gas? And I was like, oh yeah, duh, it's old gas coming from those nasty lines over there. I think what I'm gonna do also is get these exhausts, like the old exhaust crap, out of the way and make it just a little bit easier for me to do what I need to do over here. Exhaust is out completely on both sides. If you want to see what that looks like, check this out. Nice and crusty. Look at all that rust that just fell out just sitting on the ground. Since I don't have anybody with me and I don't have a jack and I don't have jack stands or anything available, I decided to put a couple ramps under here just in case. It's not like this will kill me, likely, more than likely it won't. But I don't want to get hurt either. I'm by myself, so I put these under here as a fail-safe. So when I start dropping this, if it just comes down and it's like 3/4 of the way full or something, it's not gonna, you know, like break some ribs or something. Almost forgot to take that vent tube off of the canister, or what I believe is the canister. I just popped that off really quick. There's also a bolt up there on the frame. So now I'm looking at this, and this nut on here on this rod is like 3.5 inches on there, so I can't use like a deep well socket or anything. So I'm just gonna sit here and wrench on it for a minute and get it really close to the bottom, but not all the way off. I'm gonna try to. Working too hard. There we go. Captain's log. The bolt that actually goes to the frame that holds the gas tank up just snapped. So on one side it's completely loose. The tank hasn't even moved. The other side I started on a little bit, got it loosened up, but I think I'm gonna wiggle it just a little bit, kind of see what happens. I will be not underneath of the car. It appears to be completely empty. I don't hear anything sloshing around in it or anything, which I kind of suspected. So it's probably just residue and whatever else is kind of settled in there, rust. So I'm gonna try to do this from, you know, outside of this, just in case. But I'm gonna start loosening this side up some more. I sprayed it down with some more penetrant, but I have a feeling I have a similar issue where I'm going to try to loosen this and it's just going to snap. So I guess we'll be finding out here pretty shortly, huh? This should be it. This is fun. Got an old project car, they said. Fun it'll be, they said. Only about 18 more years of forearm exercises before I get this old piece of crap out of here. Alright, Got the big boy on there now. Half-inch drive. Okay, it's coming down. Well, kind of glad I put these things here, sort of, but now they're in the way. Alright, I'm just gonna slide it up. Yep, there's stuff in there. Not a lot though. And she's out. God, it stinks. Nasty. Let's see if we can look in here. Oh man, I'm trying to get a good view in there, but you can see the rust. It's never a good thing if it looks like coffee in your gas tank, so I think I made a good call in getting a new one. Okay, so here's the gaping hole where it used to be. Man, I'm actually surprised. I was expecting this to be like all rotted out. There's that spot that I already knew about around the filler tube, but apart from that, I'm actually pretty surprised because it's solid. I mean, they put some sort of factory coating on this thing, and people say that it doesn't help. I mean, this was a California car, so it never really had much to be up against really in the first place, but it helped. I would say it definitely helped. So the only real thing is getting that filler tube out. I'm gonna have to check that out really quick. I'm not really sure how that's fastened in there, but I believe there's a new one that comes with my new tank. So, I mean, I can pretty much just pop that new tank in there and viola. I mean, there's some rubber hoses and stuff like that on that connect, but and I have the new straps and everything too, so that shouldn't even be an issue. All right, I would call that a great success so far. Oh, so I spent a little bit of time and I got one of the trim pieces off around the rear wheel well here, and I mean, I think it looks better already because the trim kind of just accentuates how messed up it is already. So I took that off of there. It's just bothering me. That was a pain in the hiney, I'll tell you. I'm using this valve grinding compound. It's just like a really gritty compound, and you put it on your screwdriver. I'm sure all you older guys probably know about this trick already, but you put it on a screwdriver and it kind of helps you get a little more grip in the screws. And I started on this side and I was like, this is too hard. This is too much effort right now. I'm just tired. So I give up on this side, but I'll pop this side off. The trim's already quite mangled, so I think what I'm going to end up doing, because I don't really love the look of the trim anyways, is I'm probably going to just take it off and just smooth everything out. Same thing with the panel that goes down there. I already took that off, but there's like those clips that fasten underneath it, so I need to grind those off at some point and smooth that out. Part of the reason why I was taking that trim off though, it wasn't totally because I was just sidetracked, but as you can see, there's a good amount of rot right there. It doesn't go all the way through, thankfully, it's just the outside. Similar over here, this is the worst spots on the entire car is just the rear quarter. They don't really make a lot of replacement stuff, like especially for up here. They make some patch panels, so I may use patch panels for the spots that are really bad, and then kind of just try to work whatever magic I can do on smoothing this back out, you know, pulling out the dents, using body filler, that type of thing. But anyways, my point is I took off this trim because I'm probably gonna go and cut out the rust at some point. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that before I get it out on the road, roadworthy, or if I'm gonna do that afterwards. It just seems like I might be compounding a little bit too much crap on myself, so I'll probably just let it hang out for a little bit. But I want to get those trim pieces off anyways at some point, and plus it just makes me feel better not seeing the mangled trim on there. But anywho, I think that's pretty much gonna be a day for me. That was, I mean, it would have been easier with another person probably to help me, but it really wasn't that bad. Okay, I'm recording 2 different projects the same day now. We're actually doing the front end stuff the same day, but at some point, once we kind of like get everything going pretty well in the front end, I'm actually gonna continue work on the gas tank now that it's all painted and everything. I just painted it regular black, I think it's Duplicolor, and then I actually did a high temp paint over the top of it, like a satin clear. So that's how I got that finish. I'm just gonna put everything back in there and just basically get it ready for everything else to connect to it. So that'll already be in there and good to go. That's just what I want to finish today on that. Today, we are gonna be trying to get some serious work done on the Javelin. It's been a minute. I've done a few more minor projects since we've done anything to the front end of the car. The reason why there was a gap, I've mentioned it on other videos, but we had a big wait time on the Wilwood brakes. So the Wilwood brakes took like 2 or 3 months to get here. And then while that was being done, Ivan was actually putting bushings and whatnot in some of the front end suspension parts. So he's coming today with all of those installed into their respective components, and then we're gonna start putting things together here. And my goal for today is to get all the front end stuff back together, which means springs back in here, shocks, all the rest of the brake stuff, all the Wilwood brake stuff is gonna go in. I'd like to get this car back onto its own wheels today, which would be my brand new set of wheels that I've never actually had installed yet. I've shown that in a different video too, but that's these right here, the Rota RKR wheels with radial TAs. All right, so we got the pieces over here with the bushings installed, and we're just gonna start slapping some things together. Hopefully we can get enough done where we can get it back onto the floor. What do you think? Some progress has been made. Some of the stuff is back in here. We actually had to run to the hardware store to grab a few bolts and a nut. So now we should be good to continue. Hopefully we can get the springs and shocks in there and maybe get started on the brakes. I didn't realize until I was actually talking to Ivan about it, but Randy took the the floor jack. So even if we do get this
floor jack,
I can't believe he took his floor jack. Just how irresponsible. So even if we do get done today, we can't put it back onto the ground yet. But it's actually fine anyways, because I forgot that these weren't even painted or anything yet, like the control arms and whatnot. So I actually need to go back and I'll probably just do POR 15 and spray whatever I can or whatever I can't get to with a paintbrush. Kind of get that looking decent. Then we can, you know, put everything back together and get it back down on the ground. You know, once it is on the ground, everything has to be tightened back up to spec and all that anyway. So there's actually a little bit more work that goes into this than I probably realize. But Ivan has his big ass knife, so we're gonna get it done.
Arizona don't have a blade length law.
Been here about 4 hours now, or 5, something like that, and we've gotten stuck on a couple things. First thing was we were missing some hardware, so we got the hardware, then we came back and I couldn't find the spring isolators to put the springs back in, so now I need to order new ones of those. I have no idea what happened to the ones that I actually got. Probably threw them away in 7th or 8th time I cleaned the shop. And I just blasted these, and we're just throwing some paint at it really quick. Doesn't have to be super pretty, we just want it to be black and not ugly like it was before, so it's looking a lot better. Ivan was busy on the components here. He kind of did as much pre-assembly as he could, given the circumstances. So we're pretty much just getting done what we can. Got about 30 more minutes or so before I gotta take off, but I also was able to get the gas tank up in here, so that's nice. If you are going to buy this gas tank though, I'll tell you right now, the tabs, it's these tabs right here on the filler tube, they're supposed to be lined up with the holes in the trunk, and mine wasn't, and I didn't realize that till I already shoved it in there, and it was not easy. So right now pretty much all I did was just line it up on the right side. Can't really see, but there's a hole on either side of this little hump here where the filler neck basically bolts in, and I just did the right side, and it's nice and sturdy in there. It's not gonna go anywhere or anything, but if you want to do this right, you would basically just have to like bend these on the new filler tube, the tabs, to make them line up with the holes in here properly. But yeah, I just don't care. So that's pretty much it for now. Hopefully next time I'll actually have the spring isolators, and we can get the springs and shocks and the rest of the brakes on there, and finally get it back onto the ground and proper. So if you like this video, please like it, please comment, subscribe. Take it easy guys, later.